Okay, you are welcome. Now we are taking this as example 2 under probability. I have done example 1. Now let's look at the question. In a single throw of 2 fair points, find the probability that 2 eggs appear, B, 2 tails appear, and C, 1 egg, 1 tail appear. Now in this case, we have 2 coins, but these 2 coins are tossed or thrown one time. We hold the 2 coins together, but we cast them at what? At the same time, which is what? Which is just single what? Single throw or single cast or single toss. Okay, now we have to find the probability that the 2 eggs appear. That is, when we cast it, we discover that 2 eggs appear. When we cast it, we discover that 2 tails appear. When we cast it, we discover that 1 tail, 1 egg, and 1 egg and 1 tail. So we are asked to find the probability of this now. Now, how do we go about this? What's your sample space? You say let x be the sample space. That is, your x now is your sample space. Okay, now we have 2 coins now. So we are going to have head, we are going to have head, tail, we are going to have tail, and we are going to have what? Tail, head. So this is the sample space of throwing what? Or throwing 2 coins at the same time. Then what is the number of the coins when you toss it at the same time? We are going to have 4 as what? As the possible outcome, as the total possible outcome. Okay, now the question says find the 2 eggs, find the probability of 2 eggs. So you are going to tell us that let E1 just represent as anything, maybe E1 or let E1 be what? Be the event that what? That 2 eggs appear. Let E1 be the event that 2 eggs appear. So in that case, we are going to have E1 equals to, when we have 2 eggs, now these 2 eggs, we have it as H. But how many times that 2 eggs appear? That's what we want to know now. How many times the 2 eggs appear? The 2 eggs can only appear what? 1 time, which is what? 1. Okay, now what is the probability of 2 eggs appear? We have P. Probability of 2 eggs appear is going to be PR of E1 equals to what? N of E1 divided by what? N of S. And what is the N of E1? N of E1 is what? Is 1. We have it as 1. Then what is N of S? N of S is what? Is the sample space, which is known as what? The total possible outcome, which is 4. Therefore, when you find the probability that 2 eggs appear, we have what? We have 1 over 4. Now let's go to number 2. 2 tails appear. Number 2. Let E2 be the event that 2 tails appear. So we have E2 equals to, when we have 2 tails now, we have tail. 2 tails appear. And how many times 2 tails appear? It's going to be what? 1 time. Therefore, the probability of 2 tails appear, we have E2 equals to what? N of E2 divided by what? N of S. N of E2 means what? The required outcome. That is, 2 tails appear. N2 means what? The required outcome, which is what? 1. Then NS means what? The possible outcome, the total possible outcome, which is what? Which is 4. Therefore, when we are to find the probability that two takes are there, we have what? 1 over what? Over 4. Now, the last one, C, one egg and one tail. That is why we have one egg and one tail. One egg and one tail. Now, in this case, what do we have? We are going to have let E3 being the event that one egg, one tail appear. One egg, one tail appear. So in that case, we have E3 to be what? One egg, then one tail. This is one egg, one tail. One tail, one egg. So in that case, what do we have? We are going to have N, E of 3, then equals to what? This one will give you 2. Now, what is the probability of this? What is the probability of one egg, one tail? You can see one egg, one tail, one tail, one egg. So in that case, we are going to have E of 3 equals to what? N of E of 3 divided by what? N of x. Don't forget that E of 3 is what? Is the required outcome, which is what? One egg, one tail, and as well as 2. As 2. Then divided by N of x, which is what? The total possible outcome, which is what? Which is 4. Therefore, when you divide this now, how many 2 in 2 is 1? And how many 2 in 4 is what? Is 2. Therefore, we have to find the probability of one egg and one tail appear. We have what? We have 1 over 2. Please follow for example 3. Thank you.